Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Janera, and today I'm going to be reviewing Huda Beauty's new Faux Filter Concealer as well as Mcgrath's Divine Glow Highlighter and her blush duo. So if you're interested in seeing the application, review, and swatches of these shades, then keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. First, I'm going to moisturize with my Beekman 1802 lotion, and then I'm going to use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Alright, so now that my face is primed, I'm going to go in next with my foundation. This is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation in the shade Macao. This is what this shade looks like. And to blend this out, I'll be using my Morphe M439 brush. Alright, so next up is this new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and it says that this is a buildable creamy formula that can flex from medium to full coverage while it visibly brightens and conceals. It's fragrance-free, long-wearing, crease-proof, and then it's also a vegan formula with a matte finish. It's also waterproof and retails for $29. I did pick up the shade Praline, so first I just want to compare the swatch of this shade to other concealers that I currently use. This is the swatch of the Praline. And right under this, I'm going to swatch the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. And this is the shade Butterscotch. So this is the Too Faced Butterscotch, and then this is the Praline for Huda Beauty. And this is why I went with this shade, because I felt like it was the closest to this Butterscotch shade. And then right under that, I'll be swatching Bobbi Brown's Skin Concealer Stick. This is the shade Golden. And then under that, I'll be swatching the Makeup Forever Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 14. All right, so here are the swatches. This first one is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter in the shade Praline. The next one is the Too Faced Butterscotch. Next one, Skin Concealer Stick in the shade Golden from Bobbi Brown. And then this last swatch is the Makeup Forever Full Coverage Concealer in 14. And I'll show you these swatches up close. So I think that the Praline is actually a really good shade. So I'm gonna apply this now. And then I'll be using my Beauty Blender Pro to blend this out. And I really like how creamy this concealer is. It's blending out super easily. Oh, and let me actually show you guys the applicator up close. It picks up a pretty good amount of product, and then it's also super soft. And then let me show you guys this finish up close. Overall, I think it does a pretty good job at hiding dark circles. I usually crease right under my lash line, but I don't really see this concealer settling into these lines, so that's pretty good. It's supposed to be a medium to full coverage concealer, so I'm gonna add a little bit more and see what happens. Honestly, I don't know if adding that second layer really changed that much, but I do like the coverage of this overall. I'll definitely agree that this is a medium to full coverage concealer. I do think that the shade Praline is the perfect shade for me to highlight with, but if I just wanted to conceal like I do with the Makeup Forever Full Coverage in the shade 14, because it's closer to my skin tone, I would have gone with the Crumble shade with this concealer. And I actually went to Sephora and swatched a couple of shades of this on my arm, and then I took pictures of it in Sephora and outside just to show you guys how the shades look in different light settings. So I'll insert those pictures now. Hopefully that's helpful. Alright, so next I'm going to be using my setting powder. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep. And again, I'll be using my Beauty Blender to blend this out. And then since I have super oily skin, I'll be using my IT Cosmetics brush number 114 to put the setting powder all over my face. This is how this brush looks up close. It's very fluffy and soft, perfect for all over face powder. Alright, so next up for contour, I'll be using my Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio palette by One Size Beauty in the shade Dark. I'll be using this shade right here, and then I'll be using my IT Cosmetics brush number 227 to apply this contour. For bronzer, I'll be using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer. This is their cream bronzer in the shade Tan, or shade 3. When I first reviewed this bronzer on my channel, I used the Morphe M530 brush, and this brush has like very flimsy hairs, so it was kind of hard to pick up the product in the bronzer. So I switched my bronzing brush to this e.l.f. Buffing Foundation brush, and it's been a lot easier to pick up this product, especially with my cream bronzers. Alright, so this is the finish of this bronzer. I really like the application a lot more with this brush. I think that it picks up a lot more product and blends it out very evenly. At first, I really wanted the shade to be more red, but I think that this brown shade is actually a really nice bronzing shade overall. And if you don't feel like contouring, I feel like you can definitely get away with just using this bronzer. Alright, so next up for blush, I'll be trying out the new Mcgrath Divine Blush Duo, and I got the shade Night Bloom. This is what this shade looks like. And it says that this is a petal soft powder blush curated to blend together for a unique feather light silk velvet finish. It also has a pressed powder formula with medium coverage and a radiant matte finish. And then it also retails for $44. Again, this is the shade Night Bloom. I'm gonna swatch the right side, the left, and then I'm gonna do a swatch mixing the two shades together. Honestly, it seems that the two shades are different formulas because the red shade is very pigmented and then the pink shade is not as pigmented. All right, so on top is the red shade. The next one is the berry shade, and then the last one is the mixture of the two. The brush that I'll be using to apply this is the Morphe E4, and it kind of has a big base, so I think I'm just gonna use a mixture of the two shades. This is what the two shades look like on the brush. You can definitely see the purple on top, red on the bottom. I don't know if that's as easy to see in the camera. I think I put a little too much on. Honestly, I just dipped it into the palette and like, as you can see, like I spread it on both sides, but this blush is super pigmented and like this shade really shows up. So just keep that in mind. Be very careful when you apply this blush. I'm gonna use my powder brush to just diffuse this a little more. So very rosy pink, this is the finish. I think that the mixture of the two shades is very pretty. Usually when I go for a blush, I usually choose the red shade or a berry shade. So I really like how this one comes with like a mixture of both. All right, so next up for highlighter, I'll be using Mcgrath's new Skin Fetish Divine Glow highlighter. This is the shade Venus Nectar, and this is a swatch of this shade. It kind of has a peach undertone. It's very pretty. And it says that this is a hybrid powder highlighter with a smooth, high-intensity finish. And then this pressed powder formula also has a radiant medium coverage finish and retails for $48. And then to blend this out, I'll be using my Morphe M510 brush. Oh, this highlighter is super pretty. Let me add it to the other side. And then I'm just gonna further blend this out with my fingers. All right, so this is the finish of this highlighter up close. I think it has a very pretty glow and it looks really nice on deeper skin tones. And then I also really like how this highlighter looks on top of this blush. I don't know if it's because they're both pressed powder formulas, but they look really nice together. All right, so that's it for face makeup. I'm gonna go off camera and finish my eyebrows, eyeliner, and mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and this is a completed makeup look for today. And I'll get close to show you the finish of this blush, highlighter, and concealer. For this concealer, I'm not seeing too much creasing. Honestly, it's really reminding me of the Too Faced concealer that I normally use to highlight. I think that the formula is very creamy and easy to blend out, and I do think that this is a full coverage concealer. For this blush, it's super pigmented but also very pretty. I really like the red and the purple shades mixed together. Just keep in mind when you use this that a little goes a long way, so definitely don't be too heavy-handed. And then for this highlighter, I really like how pretty this glow is. I think it looks really nice on deeper skin tones. And then I also like how it looks on top of this blush. I think both formulas work really nicely together. And then I'm also really glad that I gave this bronzer another chance. I really like how it blends out. I think that it shows up a lot better when I use a more dense brush. For my bronzers, I normally prefer a more red undertone, but like I said earlier, I feel like you can just swap this out for the contour and not have to use both. But yeah, overall, I think that this cream formula worked really nicely with this powder blush and highlighter, so I'm very pleased with how this look came out. Alright, so those are my final thoughts on all the new makeup products that I tried out today. If you have any questions about this new Huda Beauty concealer or Pat McGrath's highlighter or blush, please let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. If you are new here, welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.